Hey guys, it's postboxpat and welcome back to a new video, and today we're going to be talking about the best location to land in 2018. Now, there's a bunch of locations on the map. I'm talking this is mainly for solo and duo. Now for squads, this may not work as well due to the loot being quite low, but I want to talk a little bit about Moisty Mire. Now why I'm saying this is because Moisty Mire itself, the Mire, is probably one of the best spots to land on solo and duo. Now I have personally played 5 games, and the last 5 games I've only had one person there at Moisty Mire. Now obviously if the bus is going to be coming directly over Moisty Mire, you don't really want to land there because everyone's going to jump out straight away, or maybe if it's the last location on the bus, then maybe you don't want to land there. But I definitely think Moisty Mire is a spot where hardly anybody goes to, and it's something that definitely is really worth checking out, because with Moisty Mire in general, it just has a bunch of loot. Now you can get up to about 10 chests, maybe more at Moisty Mire. You can get double chest in this building that I'm in right now. You can get a bunch of different stuff around the chest locate, around like the trees and stuff, and a bunch of different stuff on different islands. Now I am going to make a video on a loot run on Moisty Mire if this video does well, but also note if this video does really well, then most people will probably start going to Moisty Mire. So keep an eye on the view count of this video, keep coming back to it and checking if you are using this location a lot, because Moisty Mire is the sort of location that could possibly get quite crowded if you are going here a lot. And if a lot of people watch the video, obviously everyone's going to start going here. But with Moisty Mire, you almost come out every single time with a bunch of potions. Now in this gameplay on screen right now, I do not come out with a bunch of potions. I only come out with slurp. But the good thing about Moisty Mire is a lot of people don't actually go to the prison. Now the prison is actually a location where a lot of people do go to, but it's not always that common. But there's also a bunch of chests in prison that people always miss out. So you've got that kind of like counter, or should I say like secondary resource area, which is prison. Now to maneuver around Moisty Mire, the best way of doing it is just like I did then, just building little things. You get like 100 wood on average from these trees, which is crazy, which is really awesome. Sometimes you can only get about 70, sometimes you can get up to 100. It really does depend. And this tree here that I just destroyed is usually the triple chest spawn. Now in this game right now, I didn't get any chest spawners, so it can spawn from 0 to 3. I've had a bunch of 3 chests and 2 chests in there, and it's really cool, and it's probably the best spot currently in 2018. Like I said, I've won about 5 consecutive games in a row using this technique. Now I've never won a 5 streak on solo, and due to Moisty Mire I have. Now what makes me win, and why do I always win from Moisty Mire? Well, if you look at the score, or the number of players in the game, there's currently only 65 players left. By the time I finish with Moisty Mire, usually there's around 35 players to about 25, depending on how long you're here, and depending where the circle is. If the circle is ended on Moisty Mire, sometimes I'll just stay here, or even build on prison, if possible. So it really does depend where I want to go, and where I want to build, and I'll just build in different locations each time, and sometimes I will decide to build maybe at Moisty Mire, like I said, sometimes in between prison and Moisty Mire, and sometimes wherever really I want to build. So it does depend on what the situation is and how things are going and what's exactly going on in the game I'm actually currently playing. But if depending on where the circle ends, like now for example, I could build in between here. Now most of the time I don't decide to do this because there is not really much point of doing it at all. Sometimes I will decide, you know, let's just build in, say for example, let's build at, I don't even know, let's build at, say, prison, but just slightly in between fatal. That's a good spot to build, depending on where the circle is. If the circle's ending there, you can build there if you want. It really does depend on the situation. So that's a really good spot, and I think definitely it does depend on the situation. So let's talk a little bit about how you kind of progress further into the map after the building stage, if you want to build around here or if you don't. So if the circle doesn't finish here, how do you move into the map? Now moving into the map can be quite difficult, and it can be something which is kind of confusing. So I'm going to put a map on screen right now so we can talk a little bit about this. So here's a map of Moisty Mire, or in general the entire Fortnite, and let's talk about exactly where you can go. Well, as you can see at the bottom right, we have Moisty Mire, and you've got like Salty Springs, you've got that area in between Salty Springs, which is a really cool spot to go to. And the good thing about this is in between them areas there, you've actually got a bunch of like different positions you can go to. So let's take a little look at this. So Moisty Mire is usually around F6 on the coordinates, roughly. That's like the main section of it. So you're going to be coming in, usually depending on the circles ending in the middle or if it's ending near fatal, you're going to want to be coming in around E5, E4, around there, maybe not E4, but mainly around E5, that section there, and coming across diagonally across E5 to around where around Dusty Depot area. You want to be coming in, cutting through that way, and that's probably the best way of cutting into the map, of doing like the most like success you can in the game. So I think that's a really awesome thing to do, cut in there. Usually the circle, unless the circle's ending in like Wailing Woods and you've been pushed and you have to go north through the F coordinates, then supposedly that's going to be a different situation. But the good thing about Moisty Mire is you're coming in kind of like there aren't many tall hills. You're not going to get sniped by anyone that easily. Obviously, you could be sniped, but you're not going to get sniped off someone who's on a giant hill. Whereas if you were to go Greasy Grove, look at the giant hills around there. That left-hand side of the map is covered in hills, whereas the right, like huge mountains, should I say, not even hills. Whereas the right-hand side of the map's got hills, but it hasn't got many mountains. So, Moisty Mire, definitely a spot you got to try out. Try it out a few times. Don't just try it out once if this video doesn't work. I definitely think it is going to be very popular. However, if more people are watching this video, then I suppose Moisty Mire may get a little bit too crowded and you might want to move locations and pick somewhere else. And some ideas I will give just for now, because why not give some ideas? I'll tell you guys some ideas where you could go. If Moisty Mire starts getting crowded, you've got to kind of think what other areas might not get crowded. Think about Lonely Lodge. Usually quite a few people drop there, but if this video does quite well, maybe people might move from Lonely Lodge, or they might not. Or maybe people might be thinking, let's not go Moisty Mire now because this guy Pat said it, everyone's going to be going there, but really everyone's not. But currently the time is, you want to try it. Currently the time right now, if you're watching this video in like the first 1,000 views, you've got a good chance, go Moisty Mire. You're probably not going to bump into many people at all on solo or duo. Squads, avoid it. There isn't enough loot for all of you. Duos, solo, perfect. Great spot. So yeah, other spots you could pick for on solo, which are quite quiet, are usually the dirt track. You get about 2 to 3 people spawning there sometimes. You also get Lonely Lodge, about 2 to 3 people. Some other spots as well. Above Wailing Woods is a very popular area for myself. Now I know a lot of people enjoy that area as well because there's a bunch of different houses around there. Top of Wailing Woods, I always call it, around F2 it is, around there, and G2 as well, them coordinates up there. So they're really good spots, but a lot of people do go there currently. Other places, you can just simply get a long dive. If the bus is, say, coming in on the right-hand side over Moisty Mire, you could dive all the way over to Greasy Grove, or even Flush Factory, dive straight away. If it's coming north across the map, you could possibly get a really good run in at it over there. So all depends on the situation. If you can get your situation right, you will get a bunch of good loot and probably have a really good chance of winning the game. So I've just got a few different gameplay clips above on the screen right now. You can see I've got a few different gameplay clips. You can check them out. They are pretty awesome, and they're just me just going to Moisty Mire, and it's just amazing. I only get one person in one of the clips, so awesome location, and has to be tried out by you guys. It's by far, I've never played Fortnite in a long time and won several times just by playing this. Now, I would like to say that this location is very well, it's not boring, but it's very quiet. There isn't that much action. So usually you get about 2 to 3 kills on average per game. The most that I've had from a Moisty Mire win is about 6 or 5 kills. So it's not many at all, really. But if you are expected to get a good chance of winning, or at least get in the top 10, when you're going to have to, once you've cleared out Moisty Mire and done all that stuff and made it in, then it's up to you guys to finish off the win. Obviously, I've done videos on how to do that and stuff, but I'm going to be making more videos and stuff like that to help you guys get that last top 10 win and stuff like that, because it is a difficult task and it's not as easy as you think. I do find it very difficult myself, and I think Moisty Mire is definitely one of them spots that you've just got to be brave at, and you've just got to take the risk and kind of get the right feeling right, and you will have a good chance of being able to do it. You've just got to be brave about your Moisty Mire positions, and you will have a good chance. Just don't mess it up too bad. Just be careful. But just be careful once you've done your Moisty Mire looting, and you will be fine. If you're on your own, you basically got the loot to yourself, and then after that, it's down to you guys, but not exactly. I have got some tips there and then, so it all does depend. I can't guarantee you guys wins from this, but I can definitely guarantee you at least a shield or so. You can get, I've came out Moisty Mire with double shields in my inventory before. I've came out Moisty Mire with a bunch of stuff. I've finished Moisty Mire with so much loot in the past, it's ridiculous, and I think definitely it's something that you've really got to kind of get used to, and you will get a lot of potions from it, especially by coming back via Prism. You'll end up with a bunch of potions that way as well. I've ended up with about a max of, I think I had at one stage full 10 mini potions and a stack of 2, just one stack, but 2 big potions, and also my shield was already on 100. So that's a really good success, and that's something when no one went prison and no one went. I think some people did go prison, but they only looted half of it. And Moisty Mire, no one really goes there, so you get all the loot there. But once you get the hang of the loot in there, it's not too hard. You got 2 main trees, like I said, the main building, and you got a shack on the right, and a few little chests there around, and you can just loot it. There isn't that many chests there. You get about 9 to 10 sometimes, maybe a bit less. Usually you get a bit less on solo, but it's worth it because 4 or 5 chests is really enough, and that's all you really need. And you will probably get a full shield at least, or maybe some slurps if not in some cases, and you will get a bunch of loot if you just keep going for it and keep exploring and trying it out. So that's really it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. It is probably tell me It's probably an interesting video to do, but tell me down below what you guys think your best location is. Obviously, this is all opinion based, so you guys will have to tell me what your favorite location is in the comment section down below. Tell me some locations, leave likes on people's comments if you like their locations better than mine. That's really awesome. Moisty Maya though, do try it out. Tell me how it works for you guys. Obviously, it's not going to work for everybody, but it always is worth trying out. It's very passive style gameplay though. Don't expect much aggression unless you're flying right over it, which I would not recommend dropping to it then. So, hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and once again, get looting Moisty Maya, and this is postboxpat signing out.